welcome to Miracle English Language and Literature Institute. I'm Professor Abha Sharma and I'm making videos and solving and discussing the recent English UGC CBSE-NET JRF paper. I've already completed the third one. Please check the first question where I have said that the diasporic writer, whereas the question is asked about the non-diasporic. So you can go and look for the answer. And also the third one where Congreve's novel is asked. So today I'm going to take up paper second. Let's see how many questions can we do in one video. Question number first. Identify from the following the work Nirad C. Chaudhary called the finest novel in the English language with an Indian theme. The answer is Kim. The writer was Rudyard Kipling, the winner of Nobel Prize for Literature in 1907. And he was an Anglo-Indian writer who also wrote The Jungle Book, which is the favorite book of children. But then he was an imperialist. And he was very much insensitive to India. Even Orwell has called him insensitive, rude towards India, and yet Nirad C. Chaudhary calls his novel the best novel in English language. He also wrote The White Man's Burden, which proves his imperialism. T.S. Eliot called him the first citizen of India, and he was the Westerner who was realizing his consciousness in Indian life. Question number 2. Who's the author of the poem The Defense of Lucknow, dealing with the siege of Lucknow, one of the terrible incidents of the Indian Mutiny? So the correct answer is Alfred Lord Tennyson. In this poem, he is sympathizing with the British soldiers in India. They are few in numbers, and this was the most terrible event which took the lives of many people, and it was started from all over India. India was in a mood to revolt the Britishers completely, and then on 16th of November 1857, General Campbell stopped it. Question number 3. Who among the following theorists hold a metaphor and metonymy are the two fundamental structures of language? The correct answer is Roman Jacobson, who's a Russian formalist and the member of Prague School of Linguistics. He says that metaphor and metonymy are because of the aphasic or aphasia, that is the disturbance of the mind. The dichotomy between metaphor and metonymy can be understood by the two disturbances of the brain, that is the aphasic disturbances. One is because the mind is so disturbed that cannot distinguish between the similarity, and the other one because the mind cannot find the contiguity between the two things, cannot find the part with the whole. So these are the two terms, metaphor and metonymy, which could be only understood by the similarity drawn or by the contiguity or contiguity between the two objects. So Roman Jacobson has explained the dichotomy of metaphor and metonymy. Thus, this is not very easy to understand. This comes under the compass of all the human understanding and knowledge. So, leave this. If you cannot, when you'll grow up, you'll be matured, I think you will be able to get it. For this, you need a deeper understanding of English language. Next question, question number 4. From among the following, who are the Dashwood sisters in Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility? Of course, Eleanor and Marian. Eleanor is sense. She is well balanced. She knows what to speak and when. She has a good sense of judgment. But Marianne is opposite. She's impulsive. She shows her reactions. She's emotional. She's sensitive. And you know what? Jane Austen, the writer, has brought these two characteristics together in a way to bring a contrast between two ages, that is the new classical age, the classical age and the romantic age. Eleanor represents the classical age, whereas Marian represents the romantic age. So this novel was published anonymously in 1811 by Jane Austen. And it was only written a lady. And there's a very fine movie also made where Emma Thompson plays as Eleanor. She also wrote the script. And Kate Winslet is Marian, and the very smart hero Hugh Grant is also there in the movie. Question number 5. Which among the following texts can be characterized as a lesbian bildungsroman? The correct answer is Janet Winterson. Oranges are not only fruit. What do you mean by bildungsroman? That means growing up. So she has expressed her feelings, her transition from childhood to youth, all her relationships, her family, her problems, same-sex relationships, etc., etc. And this was published in 1985. Sorry. Question number 6. Identify the correct chronological publications. The first one is The Advancement of Learning, which was published by Francis Bacon in 1605. And here he's just trying to probe the hidden knowledge. He even did an experiment in living in utmost cold conditions, and there he caught cold and died after a few days. The second one is Paradise Lost, published by John Milton in 1667, and this is based on Virgil's Aeneid, that is in 12 books, epical style, all about fall of man, fallen angels, temptation, the first original sin, and above all, justifying the ways of God to man. So, the third one is Macflegno, published by John Dryden in 1682, and this was a very direct and pungent satire on Thomas Shedwell, his contemporary, and in those days they took out their enmity against each other by writing satires, mock epic or mock heroic poems. All human beings are subject to decay, and when fate commands, monarchs must obey. These are the lines written by Dryden in Macflegno. And the fourth one is an essay concerning human understanding, written by John Locke. Please go and watch my video where I'm solving the question paper of 2015. There I've said that the human brain is like an empty slate, that is tabula rasa, and slowly, gradually, it gets written by the surroundings, by the things you experience in life. Question number 7. Pose the raven mourns the death of Pose what? The answer is Lost Lenore. And the complete poem. This O sounds a lot. That is a lamentation. Maybe the reference is from Guy de Willard's Leonore. There he is lamenting the death of the beloved, or maybe the reference is same in the poem Raven. Question number 8. In Shakespeare's Macbeth, who is untimely ripped from his mother's womb? And the answer is Macduff. Macbeth got the prophecy that he will not be killed by anybody born normal, but then Macduff was born or untimely ripped from his mother's womb, and today we call it cesarean, the C-section. Question number 9. Alexander Pope revised the Rape of the Lock 3 times. In the final revision of the poem in 1717, he inserted a speech by Clarissa, the sylph. And why? Because he wanted to convey the moral. So Clarissa becomes the mouthpiece of Pope, where she explains the youth of that day, their trivial offences. Plus, she also says, beauty strikes the eyes, but merit wins the soul. And this is the mock epic. Question number 10. Identify from the following list 2 plays written by John Webster. Oh, his 2 plays are The White Devil and The Duchess of Malfi. They are very ghastly plays. They used to call it the Spanish tragedies, like when everything ended in blood and murders. The line of White Devil is used by T.S. Eliot in his Wasteland when he says, "Keep the dog far hence, it is foe to men." And in White Devil it is used, "Keep the wolf far hence." And in Duchess of Malfi, there's a very famous line which has appeared in NET exam several times. It is, "Cover her face, my eyes dazzle, she died young." Question number 11. Which of the following works by David Meloff tells the story of the Roman poet Ovid during his exile in Thomas? So David Meloff published this book in 1978, and he's a postcolonial writer, and the book is An Imaginary Life. So Ovid is exiled, and right from the beginning he wanted to protect a child or wanted to adopt a child. So he meets a wild boy where they both have a relationship of the protected and the protector. And afterwards, this boy accepts the alliance between the two. Question number 12. In his defense of poesy, which of the following works does Sidney commend a good example of English poesy? The answers are The Mirror of Magistrates and The Shepherd's Calendar. Question number 13. Who among the following dismissed Ulysses as a misfire? And it was of the same genre, Virginia Woolf. She read it many times, the first 4 chapters, and she said she couldn't understand. And she said it was underbred and it was too pretentious, and it is taken too much into literary sense where she could not find anything like that, and she said it is a misfire. Question number 14. Which of the following works Daniel Defoe offered his readers as a collection of strange, surprising adventures? The complete title is The Tale and the Strange, Surprising Adventures of Daniel Defoe. This was published in 1711, and it is a castaway story. It is in epistolary form, it is didactic in nature, and it is confessional. Question number 15. In Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, what does Mr. Brocklehurst accuse Jane of when he visits Lowood School? She was a child and she did not like reading those religious psalms, and she said they are boring, and her aunt and all of them accused of lying, that she is a big liar. Question number 16. William Faulkner's As I Lay Dying contains one of the shortest chapters in literary history. Which of these sentences is a chapter in its entirety? My mother is a fish. Odd, isn't it? But then for this you have to read. You have to understand William Faulkner. You're such a great writer that there is an award in his name, Pen Faulkner Award. He's written the book Absalom also. Question number 17. The prelude of Middlemarch makes a reference to the particular history of a remarkable woman, and that is Saint Teresa. But then, such questions are so ridiculous. I mean, if you have read Middlemarch, you know the characters and the theme and all. But then asking from the prelude, and that to an insignificant thing, Saint Teresa. So guys, you have to go very deep. Question number 18. And there are a few lines, the most beautiful one from Keats' Ode to Nightingale. Oh, for a draught of vintage that hath been cooled a long age in the deep delved earth, tasting of flora and the country green, dance and provincial song and sunburnt mirth. So, what is it? According to me, it is synesthesia. Through these lines, Keats is getting indolent, drugged up. And this word means that through one sense, the other sense is stimulated. Because the other 3 options are paronomasia, that is the play of words, pun. Phrasis is when you're missing out a word or a letter in pronunciation, that is, a sound is missed while speaking. and synecdoche, of course, the part for the whole. So, synesthesia is the most probable answer. But then you can come up with your logical reasoning. Question number 19. The term poetic justice to designate the idea that the good are rewarded and the evil punished was devised by Thomas Rhymer in his book The Tragedies of the Last Age Considered, published in 1678. Question number 20. Dash is the producer of the first complete printed English Bible, and that is Miles Coverdale. And you know, he and Tyndale were friends, and he learned all the methods of translation from Tyndale. But then when Tyndale was doing, and he did a lot of work on Hebrew and other Bibles, he got caught. He was in prison. And while he was in prison, Miles tried to finish his work. And Tyndale was executed for writing and translating, while Miles Coverdale escaped to some other land to avoid execution or being in prison. Smash the like button and comment.